Jason, good to see you. Welcome to Popternative.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, it's interesting because a movie like this, you watch it, it's a roller coaster of emotions throughout watching it. So kind of that journey of like reading a script and then going and filming it. What was that like for you with this one specifically, knowing that it was a real emotional ride specifically?
Well, I have a different kind of perspective because I've been involved in this. I mean, read the thing before it was published as a novel.
Yeah.
David is one of my oldest, best friends. We've known each other since we were 14 years old, which is more than 5 years now. And so I saw this whole process of wanting to make it into a movie, the script, and at the last minute, I was actually in the middle of filming my show. And he said, I got the funding, do you have and they gave me off a Friday and a Monday and we shot through the weekend and I went right back. So, for me, it was, I hardly had, any time other than to just say yes and get on a plane.
But it's such a cool thing, right? Like talking about this with David and then it actually being a reality. Like it's kind
more
of a
than
magical
cool
feeling, right? If you think about it.
It really is. And, it's that much more special because obviously, David is, there's nobody I love or care more about other than family. And he's kind of like family. I mean, anyway, so it feels like it's my baby too. And
100%. And, a film like this, because I just spoke to David, Stephanie, and Logan at the press day as well about this. And, right down the middle with this movie, there's these like, really kind of sad moments and, life hits you hard moments. And then there's the laugh out loud moments and everything. And there's the genre bending component that I talked to David about, Jason, right? Where you're throwing all these genres in and a lot of people want to be in the box. What do you think about kind of genre bending these days in filmmaking and indie film compared to kind of other days where it was maybe like not frowned upon, but not done as much? Like, what do you think about kind of throwing a lot of genres in one film?
I don't think that, I think, an artist has to express himself. And if you do that truthfully, no matter who you are, you're not going to fit into a box.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice. I hadn't thought of it in the terms that you brought it up to, but but that to me is an acknowledgement of David freeing himself up, which is kind of, one of the things. I mean, obviously he's my friend, so I'm predisposed to fondness, but like I love being directed by David, which I've done now 3 times, and because he's so relaxed, he's so kind of insouciant, and it brings out that kind of ease that he has.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Do you feel like, in like based on a lot of your colleagues that write, act, and direct and everything, like, or even yourself, like, do you kind of naturally kind of go that route of wearing many hats and going behind the camera? Or do you think depending on the situation, some people want to do it, some people it just kind of happens? Like, what do you think about that? Because I feel like that's happening a lot now, right? Like actors are not just actors.
Well, the funny thing is, I've been offered to direct my show and I'm like, no, it's too much work.
Come on, you got to direct one episode of Chicago PD. Come on, Jason.
Why? And I'll tell you what, though, honestly, I kibitz, I give good ideas. Most of them are taken. I know how to, like, why don't we block it this way? We'll save some time. It'll be more dynamic. So I direct just because I know the show as well as anybody.
Yeah.
But, just not officially. And I don't want to, it's just I got enough on my plate, being the lead of the show. I can't imagine having to be in every single take, let alone scene.
No, absolutely. Big Chicago PD fans in this household, by the way. Huge.
Oh, good.
Just always quoting things like give me the code. What's the code on the door? Like that.
Oh God.
It's interesting. Like, are you ever conscious of the audience member watching Chicago PD? Like knowing like things that I just talked about, that people are always watching it. People have theories. People are either like passive audience members coming home from work, you know, grabbing pizza, watching your show, and then some people that are more dialed in. Do you ever think about that at all? Or is that kind of something that
now I do. You just, I guess, yeah, but I don't know what to think about it. I actually don't think about it. I think I'm just grateful. I'm truly grateful that people enjoy the show and find it useful. You know, that it just tickles me to death.
Did you ever look at it as a challenge being in a show where, you know, it's the Chicago PD, the cast, and then every episode you are working, like Voight is involved, like Voight has you know, interactions with so many different characters. I think that's something we don't think about a lot with like crime shows, in my opinion, or those kind of investigation shows where there's the leads and then every episode there's like different characters that these characters have to kind of interrogate, meet, confront. Like, I'm just curious about that. If you ever like think about that as a challenge.
Well, I mean, that's it's kind of like life, you know.
Yeah.
Just like here we are talking. You know, I go to the 7-Eleven. I'm going to have an interaction. It's you know, you try to take things in a new unit at a time and kind of paint the picture to find out what it looks like. You know, try not to aim. You know.
Does the mindset change depending on the genre or the project, or is it all storytelling for you? Whether it's something like Reverse the Curse, whether it's Chicago PD, like does it change a little bit preparation wise, mindset wise for you? Or is it all the same kind of acting storytelling?
Well, it's like, you know, I guess that would go into what people might call technique.
Yeah.
And you know, my technique, I guess, I don't even know what it is, but you know, I have different things. It's a toolbox, but you know, you don't always have to pull out the toolbox.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it just happens, and sometimes, I can't figure this out, and I got to work on it. So I got to talk to the writer, or I got to, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So each situation is different. You know, I just try to find a way to have fun and be truthful.
Yep.
And hopefully, you know, ideally shock myself. You know,
100%.
that was.
Yeah. And I loved how you started this interview talking about the process of getting involved with Reverse the Curse with David and it being a long time coming. And I'm so excited to ask you this question, Jason, because you can also answer this with Chicago PD. But like in a lot of ways, right? Like you said, like so much happens before you officially go to camera on a project. So in a lot of ways, it could be looked at as, you know, two journeys from a storytelling acting perspective, before filming and after filming, or it could be kind of one big journey with multiple steps. How do you kind of look at it? Do you look at it as two journeys or one journey from an acting storytelling perspective?
Well, it could be 1,000 journeys, but it's all one journey. I mean, the thing that pops into my head is when you talk about all the different things that led to it, from what I remember, what David told me, you know, this is based on a novel called Bucky fucking Dent. And he was out in Massachusetts on an island, or, you know, kind of, you know, Nantucket-y kind of place called Nonquit. And there was a couple of workers on the roof.
Yeah.
And he overheard one of them go, Bucky fucking Dent, talking about the thing.
Yeah.
And from there came a novel, came a screenplay.
So that's literally like you're saying, that's like one journey if you think about it.
There it is. It all started from some overhearing a conversation.
You see, you keep that question alive, Jason, because usually I'll ask that question and some people are just like, oh, it's one journey with multiple steps, or like, yeah, maybe it's like two journeys, but like answers like that make me want to ask that still. So thank you.
Good. There you go. It's an interesting question.
People can check out Reverse the Curse. I can't wait for people to check it out because it's a great film. Jason, thank you so much for your time. It was really great chatting with you.
Thank you. So nice.
Absolutely.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.